No, it's all good.
Whatever.
And I have a few prints on my end too that if you want to take a look too, that'd be helpful.
Yeah, of course. Or what I wanted to, I don't know if you don't mind, but I'd like to start off. There's a couple things I left you hanging on, or at
Hmm.
least one thing in particular from last, and it was regarding your Instagram stuff. Well, one thing in particular, it was like I thought it was Bruce Lee, but apparently it's Jackie Chan. I was reading it's
What's
Jackie
that say
Chan,
about your character?
but I want to talk about this real quick
Mhm.
because something was bothering me about it, and I never really explained why, and I don't like that.
You said it was stiff about the
So
line work.
are you okay if we spend a little bit of time on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me do my screen share here. All right. Does this get bigger when I do this? That's what she
Nice.
said. All right, cool. Look up here. So I'm still trying to figure out what it is I don't like so much about it. All right.
Hmm. Hmm.
A couple things. One is the proportion of his body does not work. So his head down to his chin is basically the size of his torso. It's huge.
Yes, his head is too big.
That's one thing. All right.
Hmm.
The other thing is his crotch leg goes way the fuck up here, way too high.
Yes.
It feels to me. All right. Torso's too short. The pants seem to go up too high, and it seems like they should. So that all the proportional stuff, I think that's part of why this didn't feel right to me. Okay.
Mm.
The other thing is your line work. A little bit confused. So right where I'm pointing,
Hmm. Hmm.
right here you have these lines. Hopefully you can see the direction from the bottom left top to the top right corner.
Right.
Sweeping line right here to kind of connect them all,
Yeah.
which is a very like 90s-ish kind of influence.
Right.
Compare that to this line over here.
No,
Huh?
yeah, I see it.
Okay. This line right here is very thick.
Hmm.
You see where I'm pointing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see
Can you
it.
see it or not? All
Yeah,
right.
yes, I can.
And it's actually thicker than the outline, so that doesn't work. This one right here, arm. This one right here, you see I'm
Hmm.
pointing?
Right.
Which is kind of similar to this, but you have one, two, three different looks. And then down here, you have lines going up, lines going this way. Down here, you have lines going up, but are cut off by one line going across. And then on the arm, you have lines crisscrossing like a crosshatch, I guess.
Hmm.
Up here underneath the neck, you have the same sort of like X crosshatch. So you have different styles of line work going on. Don't vibe all together, and I think part of the issue I have, I think this would have looked a little bit better if the outline has been thicker.
Right.
Um, that might have helped to contain it, but right now the line work is all I see. That's the
Right.
proportions. It's the line work that your attempts at line work and then so with all that going on, it comes out very very flat.
Interesting.
Um, and then even when you would, I see there's in this whatever the plate this is called, I have no idea.
Deltoid.
But right down here, I see you tried to make a little bit of depth, so you made this one have some opposite angles,
Right,
so they're
right.
perpendicular. You know, to add depth over here, looks like you tried to add a little bit of depth, but it's flat. I don't read much depth or not enough. There's a figure there.
Hmm.
Same thing underneath here. The head doesn't look like it's jutting out. Be a shadow underneath his chin, right?
Right.
But it doesn't come across that way. I think it's your line work because it's just
Too
here and then
random.
spread down, but it's evenly spaced. The shading that you did is evenly spaced
Hmm.
in all through here, so you can't tell where the deeper shadow is versus the lighter shadow.
Right.
You with me?
Yeah, oh, yeah, no, definitely.
So you're Tell me if that is helpful or not.
No, it is very helpful.
So was that helpful though?
It was very helpful. What would you recommend though? Would you recommend staying with one type of hatching, or just because the thing about that piece too is the same thing. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I kind of just did what felt good, and hopefully I was hoping that those different styles of inking would add like energy to it. And I spent longer in the piece than I should have.
There's zero things wrong with just going with what feels good. I think it's, and that's kind of important, I think, and that's ultimately what I do. Right, I go with it.
Right.
The way to add energy is to be energetic while you're doing it.
Yeah, I felt pretty stiff and technical.
This is something that you know that to get the best result, you need to feel what you're doing, right?
Right.
So if you want to draw Captain America as courageous, you need to feel courageous. It'll come through. It sounds corny, but that's the way it works. You know that.
Yeah, you're right.
So maybe you weren't feeling whatever you were trying to go for on this one. I think if you want to add energy to it, work faster. It looks like you were very controlled.
Yes.
Probably working at a slower pace and not sure of what you were doing. It seems like you were very unsure.
And I had a photo reference too, so I think that may have flattened it in my head too.
Yeah, I don't do, when I do photo reference, what I attempt to do is go fast so that I'm really just looking at it as a simple reference, and then the quickness will out of my head enough to it'll come through as my own, you know.
Right.
I will get stuck on the photo reference, and I'll keep looking back and forth to make sure it looks right.
Right.
And that's where things slow down and insecurity pops in and it comes through and what you know. So that's kind of what we're seeing here.
Yeah. Okay. I
think the probably fine, but
execution.
But like once you start going off of a photo reference, I don't know what started killing you at first, and then you attempted to kind of wing it with shading and your line work, which is not a huge issue, but it's kind of like you didn't have the foundation to begin with in the first place, and then you tried to kind of, it just didn't work out.
Well, I think that's too in my head. I was trying
I think
I didn't want to spend too much time, so it does look controlled, but it's also like at a faster, slow hatching pace, if that makes sense. So it was just kind of like, do the shoulder this way, and this is darker, do it that way. So it wasn't a cohesive inking.
I'm not sure if I follow you. What do you mean?
Sorry, so you know how you're saying like just what I mentioned earlier too, just kind of doing what I felt as I felt it. So it was quicker instead of me trying to lay down a horizontal hatch around everything, then lay down a cross hatch, and then bring in it's a lot of different styles.
I think no matter what you're doing, like it needs to come from you and be a question of kind of how you're feeling or what you want to convey on an emotional level. Okay. I think that's where you need to be, and that's where you're going to grow.
Emotion.
Yeah, that's what you know what I'm talking about, dude.
Yes, I know, but sometimes the lessons get lost as the months go on. Sometimes the lessons get lost as the months go on.
Sure. So but you and I talk a lot, so no.
So I'm glad it's good to reset and draw from that. Because remember we're doing the exercise and even with you being over my shoulder, it was still a constant like think, emotion. You
know what we should do is a live stream drawing hangout one of these times.
I'm down with that.
So, I think one of these times that's what we should do.
Yeah, because it was like I said, the most help it was is when you were there in person, and it was just like it was helpful. And in my mind, same thing. I try to tell myself like, oh, emotion, feel, but it's a little more difficult.
Yeah, it is. I think that's where you're gonna get the most growth, though. Honestly, that's kind of where you need to be is starting from an emotional.
Right. The feel.
I didn't want to let that go. I wanted you to. I looked at this picture a few times in the last week, because I was like, why is this bothering me so much?
And I
And
appreciate
I
you
really
putting the,
wanted to be able to articulate it.
and I appreciate you putting the time in also too to
Huh?
I appreciate you putting the time in.
Oh yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I really wanted to articulate and not just leave that out in the air. I don't like that.
Yes, it's all good.
I'm
Would
like
you?
just saying I don't like this, I like this, or whatever.
Everyone's like, man, this guy's not very nice, is he?
Yeah, maybe whatever.
uh,
So that was that.
mhm.
I wanted to last week that I wanted to catch up on. You did have. Oh, is there anything you wanted to ask? Should we just do a check-in? Actually, this is kind of like a check-in based on our talk last time, right?
Yeah. Well, so okay, so
So,
you go. Oh, I was just gonna say that I scanned those Instagram images. I scanned a lot of them, but I formatted a few just threshold line work, so they're pure black and whites also. Um, and
okay,
then
all right.
and then I laid down. I don't know. I'm starting to color them now, but I'm trying to do it in stages so I don't get married to one piece. So I've laid down. Well, can I just show you?
Damn it, you're breaking out on my end. You laid down what?
Lay down flats. But I don't want to go
Oh,
in.
okay, for coloring.
Yes, but I don't. I want to lay. I want to get everything at the same stage, so one piece doesn't look way overdeveloped, and then everything else is kind of Um, but could you want to peep them real
So you
quick?
have everything flat. Say it
Well,
again.
so I have. So what I figured is the 4x6 Inktober ones.
Yeah.
I have the Inktober's. I'll sell those at 4x6, and those are flattened, rendered threshold, so they're black and whites.
Okay.
Um, my I have 4 heads. Those are going to be 4x4. 4x4, yeah.
Okay.
Uh, and then I'll have full body ones too. So I'm coloring the head ones. How do if I hit screen share?
Oh yeah. Can you show me?
Yeah, please. Uh, and is there a way to? Oh, that's weird. Is there a way to
What you need to do is what you can do is open up go into your program and I see it on the there you go.
Yeah. Here, Photoshop. So that's the one of
I'm
the
gonna lock this screen on yours so that that's all we see.
for sure. Um, so this is one that I scanned it and I threw in a background and I laid down the flats, but then I went back and I started doing the heads first, just so that way I would have like an idea.
Okay.
So that's Michelangelo, Raphael, and then Donatello. And you can tell it's just a highlight and a shade. And I can go back later, and I have other ones that are flattened too. And I don't know what to do with the background. I don't know if I like the color, if I just like it white, or I don't know.
The black and white look.
Well, even just like for this, like if I just want like a white background, if I want that orange.
What Photoshop is this?
Hella old. Was it CS? See, you know what? It doesn't matter. Okay, Photoshop runs the same.
I'm not familiar with Photoshop.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know. I mean, whatever.
What do you use?
Photoshop at all.
Oh yeah, this is really old
How
Photoshop.
comfortable do you feel with your digital work?
As opposed to like coloring by hand.
Just cut. I don't want to see myself, man. Just stop your screen
Oh,
share.
sorry. But
Just in general, how comfortable do you feel with coloring digitally at this point?
coloring digitally for sure. Just because I can like that background on and off. Like I would hate to do that thinking it's a good idea, then get locked into it. So coloring for sure, I'd like to do digitally, unless you don't think that's a good idea.
I got you, but I kind of I kind of like the black and white more than your color.
What?
Yeah.
Damn. You don't think? But I remember you mentioned
No.
too in passing that
Say it again.
I could have maybe both options. Okay, so here, so because I remember you mentioning in passing that like that.
Yeah, you kind of have this black and white thing going right now, and with the
Are the
amount of
colors
time you
that
have left, it makes
bad?
sense to have. Not that it's bad. It's just I
You don't think that pops?
thematically, yeah, it looks fine. It looks fine.
Just because I was thinking like, so these in the full body prints, those would be colored, but all my Inktovers would be black and white. And then I could have the actual
Okay.
line work in a portfolio too. So if somebody wanted to buy it,
Okay.
in theory. Um, I mean, even I just do you think that it's a stronger picture, um, even without the color?
I guess the only reason that I'm saying I like the black and white more is because I'm thinking about your table overall, and I think
Oh,
most of your stuff is going to be black and white.
mm.
Look to it, right?
Yeah, no, you're right, and it actually would be really helpful because then I could knock out more things if the color wasn't going to be an issue. Because coloring's fun, but it takes a minute. Oh, sorry, coloring, coloring's a lot of
It's not. There we go. All right.
sorry.
Yeah, time as well, which you don't have a whole lot of. Um,
You don't think it looks
so I
bad?
just think visually your table, huh? I think visually your table would be more interesting as consistently black and white with that cool brush ink look to it.
So that'd be like the overall theme I'd be pushing, the black white ink.
What do you think, man?
No, no, because I do like it, but it seems like having fully colored prints would be more appealing. But I mean, but
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge deal. Telling you go for it, man.
yeah, I just because but when you really do say it like that, because I was checking out that Instagram page you had shown me too, and that guy's stuff is mostly black and white also, and it just and the theme,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it just fits the table. It doesn't. It's not summer fully colored, and then summer black white sketchy, and it would be easier too, because ideally I'll be offering cheap commissions just to be able to do it in black and white, and then color if they want it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because it's my first convention, so it'd be good to just as a starting off point. Because even yeah.
On a practical level, that's kind of what I was thinking. And yeah, the one that I sent you, that guy,
Mm-hmm.
cool, cohesive, minimal white kind of look to everything, and it works really well. And it kind of seems like that with the amount of time you have left. And I'm looking at the calendar right now.
Mm-hmm.
With the amount of time that you have left, um, that focusing on that look maybe
Mm-hmm.
might be your. But if you're gonna go with color, you have. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's not that big of a deal, really, honestly. Dude.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As long as
Just
it's,
a couple of what.
I was as long as like the coloring wasn't a deal breaker. Like, oh man, that was so bad. It's better without it.
It wasn't that. It wasn't. I looked at it and thought, oh, it's.
Right, but it's like it's just because I would want to put in X amount of hours into it, like to make it really pop.
Yeah, I mean, simple brush ink look to it. It was a complete. But
Mm-hmm.
once you start to color it, see it all the way through, and I don't know if you'll be able to do that. I don't know if you were
Right.
happy with the way it looked. It looked like you had started to color it, but
Mm-hmm.
it had some ways to go. You know, just
Right. And so another thing too, okay, if you don't mind me asking your opinion on this, when I designed those heads, those busts originally, um, I designed them with the
mm-hmm.
intention that like you could still tell each turtle without the color, like you could tell which one was which, uh,
Mm-hmm.
just from their demeanor visually. Do you think that got
Uh,
that? It's on my Instagram. It
I'll
should
look at
be.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because that's
I'm
when
gonna
I
look at Instagram.
okay.
saw them, I remember thinking that you had pulled that off.
Okay, because that's what I was going for, and I think the coloring would help because. But I was ideally, even without the coloring, you could tell who was who.
I'm gonna do the screen share here again real quick.
Because yeah, with the full body prints too, like, yeah.
So I want to point out this one right here. I really, oops, wrong screen, wrong window.
Ah.
This one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Cohesive look to it. Everything has that style that you bit off of me, which is okay.
You told me to do it. You told me to do it. That's why I did it. You God damn it.
But everything has that cool, you know, and it's all the non-metal parts. So this is cohesive. It works really well. So that's different than what the other thing you had. I just want to point that out real quick.
Well,
all right, so the turtles.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that's Mikey. I would guess Leo and Donatello, yeah. Did I get them all?
I think you switched to Leo and Donatello. Donatello has the swords, right? And Leo's the techie guy.
Leonardo's the blue guy. He has swords. Donatello's purple. He's the nerd.
Yes, then yes, you're correct.
Right? That's Leo, right? That's the leader, the guy at the swords.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be blue. I thought your colors were off.
I think my names were off.
Colors. Huh?
I think because I've been naming them in my computer. Like I've been naming the prints, and I think I've been naming them wrong.
So I think so. They're recognizable even in black and white. If you wanted to do any sort of enhancement, one thing you could do is just do, instead of having a white background, just do everything red for Raphael and leave the ink the way it is. It's kind of cool. You have the colors in there. Simple, like 1 or 2 levels of shading to it. And any highlights, see what that looks like. I don't know if you have the time for all that, but just at least doing like all red background.
Mm-hmm.
But not just the background, but also the whole thing. Instead of white, it's red.
Oh, and then you know what? Because like, well, okay, I'm sorry. So you're saying even the figures are red? So Raphael, for example, everything's red except for
like you drew it on red paper.
Oh, damn, you're good.
Flash of color that would still be in line with the theme. It was time. It's pretty darn simple.
Yeah, because like we'd mentioned with the flats, like the flats look good, but just it's like even with a simple highlight, you want to further develop it. I think a clean look like that would be nice.
Yeah, doing like a very simple shading, like just what, like, you know, 1 or 2 levels of shading.
In that same color, like a monochromatic.
Let me see. Yeah. Let's see if I can bring up an example of mine. Something really simple. So how much work have you done? I noticed you haven't posted a damn thing in like a week.
Yeah, because I've been busting my balls.
How are you showing her on Instagram?
Well, so here, can I tell you a few stories that's happened in the last couple of days?
Sure.
So I was doing my journal and that shirt design. I was like, damn, like I got to put it off. But then Zach called me. He's like, yo, this is perfect. I just need the line work. And then I figured too, I could use the money I get from the shirt design for all my prints and stuff. Okay. So it's minimal time, but and I got the clear. It's not back and forth. So that's a shirt design. Use the funds for the prints. I talked to a lady who had a table at SF Zine Fest, and she gave me good advice. That was helpful. I talked to a guy who was a business guy, and he gave me some business pointers for my art. Very helpful. And then tonight, a guy I had a color class with like 4 years ago messaged me on Facebook saying, hey, like I've been seeing your stuff on Instagram. I've been seeing what you've been posting, and I have a new app thing. I want you to draw. If I can record you, that'd be cool. And then it was like fate. It was, and this is honestly, I had you in the back of my head. I just had Justin being like, you can't say no. Why would you accept that? Because I was gonna write him back saying like, yo man, like, you know, maybe in November I'm busy. Uh, because I am, and I'm,
100%.
and no, because it's good that in my mind I had that like just accepting
Voice.
projects to
Yeah,
accept.
that voice is mine.
I just had that. I was like, dude, you got to say no to people. So then
Did
I
you
go
say,
to,
did you say that one?
what's up? Uh, sorry, you cut out one more time.
Did you actually say no to his app invite thing?
So he sent me this big Facebook Messenger, and I'm reading it, and I go to the same coffee shop every day since I moved to Pacifica. And I go to the bathroom, I'm reading the message, I put it in my pocket, I walk out of the bathroom, and this guy who I haven't seen in 5 years is sitting on the couch. He's like, "Hey man, I just sent you a message."
Oh,
And
that's crazy.
fate. And so I talked to him. I was like, yeah, maybe we could plan something out. He's like, honestly, man, it's gonna take like 5-10 minutes. And so I knocked it out right then and there. And it was cool because he like recorded me drawing with his app thing.
Oh,
Um,
we already did it right now.
and it took 10 minutes, and so that was cool that it worked. And the fact that he was
Yeah.
literally there and I haven't seen him, I was just like, and it took 10 minutes. I just drew on
Yeah.
his iPad with this pen he designed. Um, which was cool, but just the fact that he's like, hey, I saw your stuff on Instagram, like I want you to do this for me. Uh, it was cool. So it just felt like, you know, because I was talking to the business guy about developing my style, and even he was like, what are you charging? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, you know, what do you think you're worth? So that was helpful too. But just a lot of things happened last couple of days that reinforced the convention lifestyle. That's all.
Okay.
Sorry, it was a lot.
So I want to talk about that app thing. But damn, what was the other thing? There was something you said I wanted to talk about, but all right, whatever. I want to show you something that I found on my feed.
Mm-hmm.
What I was talking about earlier, though, although I think you get it, but I'll show you anyways. So for that all red thing, this is a
Oh.
this is that kind of look where it's just a black.
Mm-hmm.
You get it, right?
I really like it. You were saying something about the only thing that I didn't quite understand was a highlight or a tone. Is that in the shading, the pencil shading that you have?
Oh, that's what I was gonna. Sorry, I'm in the wrong fucking window. That's what I was gonna look for next. Is a good example of that. Okay, here you go.
Oh,
So this is I have org actually Masako as well. There's only one level of shading. It's kind of
just
like a
darks.
Saturday.
Or I'm sorry, just a shade, not really a highlight. Or
This one does have highlights. I have like right here the
Mhm.
for York. If you're doing that one color paper, you know what that I was
Right,
talking
right,
about.
right.
Having the highlight might be a distraction, so having just one level of shading. This is like at 50%, maybe. Usually I do like 50%. So
Yeah.
this is like what 50% is only one level whatsoever. It has that kind of Saturday morning cartoon look to it, you know.
Right.
Although I don't think those exist anymore, Saturday morning cartoons. But that's it. It's really simple, very clean look to it, you know.
hmm
If you're doing the all red, having one level of shading might be cool.
hmm
But if you do two levels, you could also have really cool gritty to it that I didn't go for. One, you know,
Yeah.
this is pretty clean source, right?
hmm
Um, but you could do something that's like a more, I guess, a stronger light source where the shadow parts are pretty darn dark. If that makes
Right.
sense at all. Hopefully it does.
No, for sure. My only other, I don't want to use the word concern, but like the only other question I would have is because I have these full body prints too that I want to do. Um,
Uh-huh.
and I might be able to just slap those in pure red also instead of, or at least maybe flatten color it.
Say it, you have full body prints. Say it again.
I'm just trying to think if because I wouldn't want to try to fully render it or fully color it. So maybe I can do that same flattened color look. I mean, but that's easy enough to mess around with. you wouldn't recommend
Well,
hyper.
so what are you saying? You want to fully color them, or what are you saying?
So like, yeah, so let me show you this real. I
Okay.
just so that it fits the theme. So like you were saying, so it's not that I have like it's not that I have like black and white, and then I have these solid color headshots, and then I have fully rendered full body shots. What do you think about that? Do you think that'd be too much?
Make sure I understand. This is I'm gonna lock on your screen here. This is one of the examples you're talking about.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
This is more of a torso, but whatever.
Torso, yeah.
So you would do it fully, render it, so shade it and highlight it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me turn off all these. So leave it just like
Oh,
the
okay.
line work, or do like
Yeah,
that
the
full.
line work on here is in Photoshop or something.
I did it by hand and I scanned it in.
It looks like it looks really.
Since we're
You
far
did it
away,
by
baby.
hand. It looks like it's very measured and exact or something.
Nah, man, that's just the human body.
No, the sword, the blades. It looks like
Oh
it's
yeah, no,
very.
that yeah, no, no way I did that by hand. That was Photoshop.
All right. Okay, so we have the blue background, cool, and then you were shade and highlight and make it look more robust.
Right, but just from the blue, correct?
That could look really cool.
Yeah, I mean, because ideally, also the only other thing I'd want to do is just like do something and make the eyes pop, just like a white for
Yeah,
the
that'd
eyes.
be cool too. Yep,
Okay.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, really, thank you. That's a really good idea because I do like the line work. The coloring is just kind of excessive, not excessive, but it's because even as I'm coloring, it's just so many decisions of like what's the background, what's the outfit, how's that going to work, complementary, analogous. It's a lot of stuff.
Say the last part again. Complementary and analogous.
It's just
What?
like thinking of color schemes like as I'm coloring it.
Oh yeah,
It's a lot like, do I make his necklace dark? Do I make it light? Do I make it match the sheaths? What color are those? To his,
yeah.
and
Um, Time just as you practice, you'll figure out what visually makes sense to you, what you like.
mhm.
Um, Now I think that's a pretty good idea to have the flat color, but then also render it
Yeah, yeah, because also
or
too,
highlights and
mhm, uh,
shadows.
because if that's the direction it's going, also too, then I'll have a lot more time to do more prints, especially if that's the style. Not more
Okay.
prints, but I mean, what do you think? How do you? So let's say okay, today is the day 7 of 9 before the first. Day 7, day's 5, day 5, day 6. I've been busy.
The hell are you talking about?
I'm trying to think of on our 9-day schedule since we last spoke.
We spoke last Friday.
And today is Sunday. 10 days? No.
Was it Sunday?
We spoke Sunday, and today is Friday. So it's 5 days.
Okay. What's your point?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to think. Time wise. So what would you recommend before the first? Because what I want to do is I want to do just a practice run of prints, a singular one, just to make sure they come out right and the measurements and stuff are okay on the printer. Would you recommend maybe making another print or two in black and white, like Casey Jones and Rocksteady Bebop in black and white?
Have you done those?
I mean, I would like to do better ones with the convention in mind. I've sketched them for fun, but I don't think I have any print worthy.
Well, okay, I think this has come down to time management. So you have the first was when we wanted to have those
Yes.
printed, right? Down in my notes here. There you go.
Oh, dude.
Okay. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 days left.
Right.
For the first.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What do you have that's ready to go right now?
Oh, I haven't printed anything. Let's start with that.
What do you have that's ready to go right now?
What's like finished, ready to print, or what's actually been printed? If we're going,
what is ready to be printed?
oh, my Inktober's. I don't know how many. It's like 10, 15. And then if we're going with the flat colors, those are an easy fix. So the line work's done. I just have to put the color, because and the more I think about it, I think the colors is the way I want to go, which will allow me the next 4 days to print sooner. And then, because I feel like once I print what I have ready to go now, then I can do more stuff, you know?
Okay, so that might give you some more time to do whatever else you want to do, right?
Right, but I don't want to draw without printing and then try to print it and then run into lots of just things I didn't see coming.
Well, the first is your day to print. You have that planned out.
Okay,
right?
so do that. Right, and then first, and then first, and then second, third. Third, I'm in Tracy.
Third is your setup.
Yeah, actually that's a lot of
The
time
third is
because
your.
setup day, Friday night.
Damn, you're breaking up too much. The third is your
Friday
setup
night.
day. The first is your day to go and order your prints, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
All right, so that gives you 4 more days to finish up what we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of time, I think.
Yeah.
But then you also would have time to do, I would say, at least once a day, at least a black and white inked
Black and white ink. Yeah. And
illustration
right.
sketch. Right?
Right. No, you're right.
So, question now is, well, what do you draw? And you're thinking more turtle stuff.
I mean, just for the convention specific, yeah. Tinkerbell too, I want to do.
Okay, so I don't think turtle stuff. I know it's Eastman's going to be there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Lizard slash
Right.
con. I mean, I don't think you have to do just turtles. You can mix it up and do Tinkerbell. So what do you think? Is there anything that you're really passionate about right now that you think you'll be able to knock out of the park?
Regarding to the reptilian theme?
It doesn't have to be. I
Just
would personally. I mean, you got to ask yourself: doing a reptilian or Ninja Turtle theme because you're actually into it, or because you're chasing money?
Damn. But I mean, I am. But I think we've discussed it before. I personally love drawing, but I have a tremendously difficult time finding something I want to draw.
What to draw?
I never really know. Like, that's why the prompts really help, or just having a theme to draw around really helps.
Okay. Well, so why don't you and I come up with 3 prompts right now for you to come up with, for you to do? You want to keep using the Inktober ones?
No, the Inktober ones are cool. So like one Inktober is like a voodoo witch doctor prompt, which could be fun because it's creative. Like it's a cool theme, but it's also open, you know?
Okay. You don't, so maybe abandon the Inktober prompts?
Well, that'd be cool to do like a snake skull or something. Let's have like green smoke coming out of it. No?
Well, yeah, I mean, whatever it is, like, I think that something, I think if you're doing something just because you think you can make money. I don't think it's going to turn out very well, and it's probably not going to be very fun. All right.
Right.
You got me?
I completely agree with you, but there's nothing. I'm like, man, I really
Damn,
want to. I agree. I'm sorry. One more time.
Did you hear what I said?
Not the last part. Sorry.
This connection's pissing me off. Did you hear everything I said?
About if I don't enjoy doing it, if I'm doing it for money, I'm not gonna like it.
And it probably won't turn out very well.
Yeah, that part too.
Okay.
Okay.
So I can't tell if you can hear me or not, dude.
Just that last sentence cut out.
Oh, that people aren't going to buy it if it doesn't look good, and then you won't
That's
do
a very
it.
good point. Right. So, but what would you? That's the thing. My interests are so scattered right now. There's not one specific thing that's like, man, I've been wanting to draw this.
Okay.
And it's tough.
Did you ever watch my video on
I'm sorry. On what?
artist block?
Damn. It was one of the shorter ones. I'll rewatch it.
That might help you ideas on what to do.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you're kind of drawn to the theme of the show, which is okay.
Which is very helpful.
Is take the theme of the show
Mm-hmm.
rather than just make it your own somehow. So for you, for me, like when I did that horror convention, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
I believe you went to that one with me,
I was
right?
there, yeah. Sinister Con.
So I knew I wanted to do a couple of horror pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
On way. So I had one where it was fast food villains.
Mm-hmm.
Really wanted to, like, one idea could be to do a character you like dressed up as a Ninja Turtle if you want to stay in that theme.
Damn, that's dope. Okay.
So make it fun, like have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I did the Tracy comic show last year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely focus on it being like a fun experience, and the kids are invited, and so I think fun would be a good way to go for you.
Okay.
Well, at least the cartoon series, it was all about fun and pizza and shit.
Yeah, and I know I think it's tough too because when I think of prompts, I think like it has to look amazing, but I might be neglecting the have fun with it part.
Yeah, that's huge. So one kick-ass idea that I will give to you for free, all right?
Thank you.
Kevin Eastman's going to be there, and from what I know from him is he cannot stand the cartoon version of the Turtles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe it's him. Him and Laird, they created them, and I think they both hated the cartoon version of it, but they made a lot of money. They probably hate the movie versions too, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
I would assume. But one idea, you could spend the next 4 days doing a print where the old style Ninja Turtles that wore all the red bandanas. Are you familiar with that? The cartoon Turtles.
Oh, can I give you creative credit at least?
So they're killing them off. And this is the old Turtles would do this. They would kill. So this was within the characters.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be funny, and you pull it off, and in time, you might actually be able to get his signature on it.
Oh.
Which you could then sell. Either own it, keep it, which is cool, or sell. Scratch, you know.
Yeah. Dang, that's a really good idea. Thank you.
So you have 4 days. If you want to do that, you have 4 days, which should be enough if you really hammer at it. But that could be like you have all these little sketches and prints, mini prints, plus you have this kick-ass, funny topical.
Mm-hmm.
That 11 by 17.
I can make it happen.
It is doable. So it's kind of like all in. You know, if you're going after it, that's your 4 days. You know, more unless you bust it somehow.
I mean, but I needed something in the next 4 days to draw, so that'd be
Yeah. So
perfect.
you can work on one and put everything into it,
Mm-hmm.
or you can, one thing each day. So 4 pictures. Then of course you're gonna put your all into it, but it's different. You know.
Right. Yeah, it's
So
like
that's an idea. But if you have another kick-ass idea, you can run with that for the next 4 days too.
maybe my friend Julian always has the best ideas, and we get into these fights because I want his ideas. We never tell me his ideas because ideas aren't my strong suit, unfortunately.
I have ideas fucking falling out of my pockets, and I don't have the time to do it.
Right. So that's why I appreciate you sharing that with me.
I'm happy. But
Hey,
if you don't like it, think of something else. But that's one idea that I came up with.
I like that. And because I do like his classic, the way the classic ones are drawn too, just that gritty black.
Yeah, and you could even color them as black and white.
Yeah,
Like leave it the way they look, and then rolls in their full color.
right.
You could even, I don't know if you feel comfortable copying it stylistically. No, I don't worry about that. I would do my own style and then maybe color it the same way that it would have been colored in black and white for the comic characters, and then color for the
Cartoony, like bright. Yeah. All right.
So there you go. So tell me about this app thing real quick. So well, I guess you already did tell me about it.
So,
So I don't see
mhm.
I don't see any issues with it. Like, it's not like doing something for the guy.
No.
You basically did a favor for a friend,
Right.
right? It didn't cost you any time besides 10 minutes. It was just a nice thing to do. So whatever.
Mhm.
I mean, it is what it is.
It's just the way it seemed in the email because he sent this really big message, and I was just like, I got a plan to meet him, and I thought it was going to take a couple hours to film and stuff, but it just worked out for the better.
That was what you sent me, right?
I'm sorry.
That was the thing you sent me.
Oh yeah, that screenshot. Yeah, that's what it was.
No, I mean whatever. I guess it's just the only thing that it's just like it's a friend, so it's just nice to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If it was not a friend, even though you hadn't really talked to him in 5 years, but whatever.
Right.
If it wasn't a friend, I would treat it differently because it's like this and your skill, money.
Right.
I might want to say, well, give me, kick that a little bit. But it's a friend, you're helping them out, whatever.
Right. So I mentioned you a lot too, and I was talking to the business guy, and he was like, what are you charging? What are you worth? And I told him about like, it's like, Justin Prime. He's like, this is what I charge. I know what I draw, and I do this, I take that. And I was just explaining to him your business model, and he was blown away by it. He really respected your business model because that's like how it should be.
Who did?
Just some random guy that I met who was like this, who studied business in college, and he was business savvy.
Okay. Well, I had another idea. Send me this, and I'm not going to read what you asked me. You got kind of full of yourself, though, I think.
Who, me?
Do you remember what you wrote to me?
When?
You
Today?
asked me.
Oh, am I in demand?
You want me to answer that question?
Is that what I said? Am I in demand or?
I'll answer that. I think you're at the stage where your friends and family are going to be hitting you up for artwork, right?
Yes.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's all good.
Okay, so what I was thinking was you're at a point where friends and family will be hitting you up. Not probably a whole lot you can pull from right now.
Mm-hmm.
Next level would be friends, like they would recommend you to their friends.
Mm.
Hit you up. That I think that would be the next level, and then after that, followers on Instagram, people that are seeing your artwork. And then after that would be like, this is kind of brainstorming. After that would be like people that are fine and they think of you.
Mm.
Want to be. I think that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I'm happy with.
Mm-hmm.
But then people will also hit me up saying, "Hey, I want this done, and I thought of you." So my style match what they have in their head. You know, you're kind of at that level where it's just friends and family, and you're starting out, and that's where I was, 7 years ago or so. So no shame in that. That's kind of where you are now.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why I was asking too, because it's weird because it's like people asking, but it's friends of friends or close circle,
Yeah. Okay.
know?
Yeah, so you got your circle and you got your friends of friends. There's not a whole lot of money in that. Actually, you know what? Once the friends of friends, actually, I guess it was still friends. So once friends were hitting me up, a couple of them, obviously,
Mm.
one was a kid's book, and I got paid a lot.
Mm.
I want to say it was over $1,000, at least 1,200.
Wow.
And that was, fair wage. And she also bought the originals. I charged her for that.
Oh, cool.
It was a lot of work. And then the other one, I charged her less circumstances for her. But also her parents had helped me out with my wedding, so I didn't want to charge her full price. But I gave her the originals for free. It was at least $800 for but that was it wasn't a kid's book, but she wanted images per chapter.
Mm.
But even from friends, a couple of decent paying, projects,
Right.
It won't be that much, but every now and then there's a big project that you could go anywhere with it, but you could build on those things.
Yeah, I was talking to the business guy. I was just saying like I still feel like I'm at that balance point too. And I explained to him what you explained to me about how the market will dictate how much I can charge and how it's like I don't want to eat dirt and do free projects like forever, but I also don't want to, put my nose in the sky and say, oh, I'm worth X amount,
Yeah, not yet. Hey, I'm gonna wrap it up. Is there any other final questions?
No, I want to let you know I really appreciate the check-in session. Very helpful.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. So I guess in 2 weeks we'll do it again, okay?
Okay, and I'll text you if I have questions if you don't mind. Cool. Thank you, man. Have a good night.
All right, man.
Peace.
Bye.